AITA for setting boundaries with my boundary-loving daughter-in-law. ETA. Son and Dill have been married for 3 years. All fake names and throwaway. I, 51F, and my husband Bill, 55M, have 3 kids, 27M, 25F, 22M. Our oldest, Rob, is married to Christina, 26F. I have always tried to build a bridge with her. She can be standoffish, but I try to give her space and never intrude on their lives. I usually talk to my son about twice a week and he always calls me, so it is at their convenience. Her boundary. Background. My mother-in-law owned a vacation property that she allowed us and my brother-in-law to use freely. My Dill and son met 9 years ago in college, and that summer we invited her up for the week with the family. The house has 5 bedrooms and a converted attic with additional bunks. We didn't take issue with son and Dill sharing a room on that trip. Our next trip to the house was the next summer, and this time my Mill came with us. We told our son that Christina would have to either share a room with my daughter or use the bunks in the attic, this time out of respect for his grandmother who would not be comfortable. I guess he did not make this clear to her, and when they got there she was upset. He talked to her privately and then she stomped up the stairs to the attic space. She never came with us again, although was always invited. Her boundary. First issue and the boundaries. Since my Mill passed 2 years ago, we inherited the house along with Bill's brother. My Dill has asked to use the house a lot. We keep a family calendar to mark off what dates we want to use it. My Bill and husband take the request and run it by the other sibling. Dill started asked for multiple weekends a month, and my husband became uncomfortable asking his brother, so I suggested limiting them to once every other month. Our boundary. And she was not happy and said we were denying our GD the experience our kids had. Second issue and boundaries. Rob and Christina had a baby. 6 months ago. We were not welcome at their house for the first month. Her boundary. And we respected this. We are also not allowed to stay over at their house. Her boundary. And they live over 2 hours away and have no convenient local hotel. We have never said anything about this and assume it is in retaliation for making them sleep in separate rooms years ago. Last week she called, shocking, and asked us to babysit in May. They have a family wedding, so her usual babysitters will be at the wedding. At first I agreed until she informed me that the wedding is an hour away and they expect to arrive home between 12 and 1 a.m., so we would get home no later than 3 a.m. I informed her that we were not comfortable driving home that late and that we would either have to stay or she would need another babysitter. She was very upset and said that we are not respecting her boundaries. I might be because of my response. I told her that she isn't the only one in the world with boundaries and she is going to need to start respecting ours as well. Why isn't your son taking charge of this situation? It sounds like he really needs to step up and make some decisions. NTA. I'll be honest. My Mill needs boundaries, so I read the headline and I was comin' for you. But based on this story, she's the I'm going to forego all the cabin issues and focus on the babysitting ask. It's an asked and answered. She asked, it doesn't work out for you. You answered, it's done. She needs to find other arrangements. That's it. I don't love my Mill, but they stay in our guest room and we keep our boundaries. Walls. For a few nights every few months. And we manage. Your Dill has a lot of boundaries. I think I'd put this with your son and then let go. It's for him to deal with. Please everyone stop saying the word boundaries. NTA. Why would she want you guys driving so late? It's dangerous and unnecessary smh. She's rude and should be grateful you're helping them out, and what better people than grandparents? Maybe hash it out. If it really is about the cabin thing, just air it out. Might be something else entirely, or she's bad-mannered. Either way, get to the bottom of it. Ma'am, you are clearly NTA and your dill seems fairly petty and vindictive. I mean no disrespect, because maybe she is not, and she has perfectly good reasons for her little boundaries and rules. But it's hard not to feel this way given her expectation that if you watch your GD at their house, that you must leave to go home at upwards of 1 a.m. and possibly later. C. Maybe they lose track of time amidst the celebration. It happens. The entitlement of some people is truly baffling. Don't feel bad. You are being more than reasonable and have been for years now apparently. Good luck. Info. Honestly, I think there is a lot more going on, and I get missing reasons vibes. The way Op refers to the boundaries give me a real disrespecting vibe. I think it's hard to judge without the other side of the story. It sounds like the dill was an only child who was never told no. You are definitely NTA. Kind of, I think? She's clearly an asshole. But the way you keep score and are so hyper-focused on her not too crazy boundaries make me think there's more to it. You are all ta. The first boundary was from you. Not sure if you discussed with grandmother and then told your son that he can share a room. Also, if he is living with her in his day-to-day life, surely the grandmother knows this. Her not coming to stay with you again was not a boundary but a decision. She did not want to be treated like some child. Her expecting to use the house so often is the fault of her and your son. Speak to them both, don't just blame her. Her not letting you stay at her house is both your son and her. Open your eyes. Her expecting you to babysit late and leave at 1 a.m. is on her and your son. It sounds like you both just don't like each other and do things out of pettiness. She's worst in your story. But it is your story. Classic son's daughter mother resentment. This post reeks of passive aggressiveness and bitterness, as do OP's replies. Feel like there's more to the story Op ain't telling us. You are not an asshole, but this tit for tat, disguised as boundaries by both you and Dill, needs to stop ASAP. Hey. You on the one hand seem like you may be trying. But on the other hand also come across like you're being subtly grudge-holding and nasty about this. Most of her boundaries are perfectly reasonable. Maybe you're being genuine. But if that's the case, you should know your communication style here comes across like you're sneering and contributing to, if not escalating, hostilities while pretending you're being so respectful. She is ta for wanting you to come babysit until the wee hours and then leave, without inviting you to stay or understanding why you may not wish to do this. Aside from that one situation, this is clearly a Dill petty squabbling and point scoring situation, and for that reason, overall, maybe. I'd love to hear the DIL's side of this. An ex-boyfriend of mine could never tell his mom no. And it was super uncomfortable for me. I didn't start off disliking her, but she pulled a similar, can't sleep in the same room, thing on us once. And he didn't stand up to her. And from there I knew I would have to stand up for myself because he wouldn't. This just feels so familiar. You might look to see if your town has any adult sports leagues like softball or kickball where you could expend some of your pent-up score-keeping energy. Post title sounds like you're setting boundaries in a bitter retaliation to the boundary-loving aspect of your Dill. Why are you keeping a score of boundaries at all? People are allowed to set their needed boundaries to protect themselves, and so are you. However many there are. Don't be vengeful about it. I agree with the other comment that it's stretched to blame the room arrangement from so many years ago on her behavior now. It sounds like she's just plain old selfish, spoiled. First issue. Nah for saying that she can only use the house every other month after she requested it so often. She can express her feelings about that. Whatever. She will be ta only if she continues to complain about it or persuade you otherwise. Second issue. NTA for telling her that you cannot comply with her babysitting request if you are to respect her. No sleepover rule. It's reasonable that you said she needs to also respect your boundary. Your safety. She's a big ta for putting you in a position of choosing between her safety and violating her no sleepover boundary. Dunno if you guys are playing a weird count the boundary game, but boundaries aren't meant to be thrown around in spiteful manner like that. Maybe you should stop thinking about it in that manner because it sounds too stressful. Stop keeping score. Respect her boundaries. Be firm on your own and live your life. Her babysitting request is unreasonable and you shouldn't feel bad about saying no. But you don't get any points for not going over uninvited when she'd just given birth. Well, I don't get along with my mother-in-law. But if it is more than a 20-minute drive, I wouldn't dream of asking her to leave if she was babysitting. But I still wouldn't want her to stay. From the start we suggested babysitting at her place. So it has never been an issue. Me and my mother-in-law will never sort it out. Since every time she gets critic or we start an argument she starts crying and telling she only did what she thought was best. Or something along those lines. She still have grown on me. She can be good with the grandkids. And if she tried I would give her a chance for a better relationship. I am not saying your dill will. But you should start with your inner thoughts. Thinking in a way, it's her payback, is not going to help your relationship. It's obvious, she doesn't like you. Maybe you have wronged her. Maybe your thoughts about her shine through. Maybe you said bad things about her to your son, husband, someone else and think it didn't reach her. My husband always tells me everything. In the beginning his mom spoke very badly about me and I said that I didn't like that he would talk to her so often when she talks badly about me 1/3 of the time. Nowadays, 3 kids later, I don't care if he would call her every day, but he doesn't. I feel a bit sad that their relationship isn't better. Since being a mom has changed me. But I don't believe it was my fault. Me and my husband are totally comfortable in having my mom over and my stepdad. But not my mill. Why? Well, my mom helps cleans and my stepdad cooks when they are here and they both help with the kids. And with house renovations before kids. My mill just comes with furnishing, decoration ideas. That more sound like critic over how we have it now. I feel stressed and reviewed when she is at our house. And like I need to clean for a whole day before even letting her through the door. I was 30 weeks pregnant when we moved to our house, and since my mom lives far away and my mill lives in the same city, she helped. But in her way. We didn't actually ask for any other help. Except for cleaning out the apartment we were renting. But she wanted to help and we didn't say no. I like things my way. And I organize and mark and plan, and my husband very fine with letting me direct and do the heavy lifting. Several times during moving week she ignored my wishes, directives, and I still remember the first night in our new house. I just broke out in tears. Hated my pregnancy and wished she just wouldn't involve herself at all, because if I weren't pregnant we would have fixed everything ourselves. I am pretty sure her recollection of our move is me being ungrateful bitch. Nothing is black and white. Oh, And I also put a 2-week rule when having a baby, but I changed it and invited even my MIL the first week. I am comfortable with my mom seeing me unshowered, tired and stinking sour milk. But someone who already criticizing me, hell no. I wasn't sure how much energy I would have to fix myself up, so I just put up a rule beforehand to be able not to stress. It sounds like both of you have become scorekeepers. It's time to hash everything out one way or another and drop all the petty bullshit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.